Alright guys, now we are looking at stock options. We're moving out from the stock area and placing an options trade. So in Etrade, you've got this place a trade section where you can buy stocks, mutual funds, bonds, IPOs, whatever. And if you have an options account, you have this set of trades under trade up here. Basic spreads, buy rates, all that stuff. Now I'm just going to teach you the very basic option trades, and these are actually good enough to work with. I mean, you don't need the complicated option trades. I used to use a lot of complicated option trades, but I found them really encumbering, or cumbersome. I'm not sure. The point is, it's just easier to trade the basic trades, and you can be profitable if you're doing directional trading with basic trades alone. So here's how you do it. I'm going to show you how to buy a call today. Go to trade, go to basic, and by the way, if you don't have this place an options trade menu, you just need to call customer service and make sure that they can open an options account for you. Okay, E-Trade's pretty liberal about giving you the call and put basic plays. You will need more money in your account if you want to do more of these options. So you might only be able to do the basic at the beginning, but that's fine because basic's enough to buy a call option. So we're going to click on basic, and we're going to get a menu that's a little bit different from buying stock or shorting stock. So here's how you start out. It's going to show you right here, basic. Okay, that's fine, great. That's all we need. And oh, by the way, up here on the top right, it's going to show you your level. Okay, all you need is level 1 to trade basic. So you're going to put in the symbol of the stock you want to trade an option on. I'm going to go ahead and choose, let's just do Apple because that's so popular. All right, so here's Apple. Click on Apple, you hit it, go, whatever. And this is a good choice because it's going to give you a contract size, and you're going to usually use standard. Some tickers, actually the majority of tickers, don't give you this option because most options contracts are always representing 100 shares of stock. All right, so I'll give you an example. Why don't we do Abercrombie and Fitch? You see how we lost that option of the contract size? That's because it's standard to do the standard, not the minis. So I'm just going to show you how to do the standard, okay? Order type, obviously, we're going to buy a call option. But notice that we have buy open, sell open, buy close, and sell close. Now, when we begin the trade, the first time we get in, we buy open. And when we finish the trade, we sell close. I'm going to say that again so nobody gets confused. I've had some people contact me and say, I can't close my trade. I keep clicking sell open and it keeps telling me that I can't sell my option. Well, that's because sell open means you're starting a new trade. And yes, you can sell a call option at the very beginning without having a call option. It's kind of like shorting a stock. If you don't have the stock and you short the stock, it's possible. You don't need the stock to short a stock. You don't need an option to sell an option. So make it very clear in your mind that when you begin the trade, you always select open, whether it's sell or buy. And when you end the trade, when you're ready to take your money, you choose close, whether it's sell or buy. You always do the opposite of whatever you started with. Now, I'm showing you how to trade a call option, how to buy a call option. So we're going to buy to open. And then after you're done making profit on that call option and you want to sell it back, always choose sell close, okay? All right, so we're going to buy to open an Apple call option. And the contracts, this is the number, you put in a number here. Every one represents 100 shares of Apple. All right, we're going to just do one. Type, call. Expiration date, this is up to you. What I recommend is, in general, don't choose the ones with the W's. The reason is the W's are harder to fill. What I mean by that is if you're buying a stock option, someone is selling it to you, and in general, the weekly options are more rare. They're harder to come by. So if you want to buy a weekly, it's just going to be harder. There's going to be less of the supply out there, and the spread, as you'll see later, is going to be wider, which is generally not good. Okay, so choose something without the W. The longer the expiration date, you see the closest we have right now is December 2015. Then the next one is January 2016, then February. Pretty much every month you have an option. Every month you got an expiration date. And the further out you go, the more expensive it's going to be. But the more you can think of it this way. The more exposure you have to that stock. So, if you believe, for example, that Apple is going to rise for 2 months, you might want to buy a expiration date with 2 months out. But if you think Apple is just going to go up for a few days and that you're trying to make money on a 2-day or 3-day trade, there's really no reason you wouldn't go with the closest one. It's cheaper and generally it's just as good. The only difference is it's going to degrade in value more quickly. So there's one extra thing you should probably know about the expiration date. The closer it is to us, the less value the stock option will have per day. All right? Think of it like this. When you hold on to a stock, you don't lose any money unless the stock goes down. But when you hold on to a stock option, you're losing money every day because it's getting closer to that expiration date. So generally you want an expiration date that's further out, but they're going to be more expensive. So it's really a kind of cost versus detriment here. There's an upside and a downside. All right. I'm going to say when in doubt, go at least 1 month out. All right. So I'm going to choose. Well, all right. Because you've probably found my videos from swing trading material, I'm going to say when in doubt, if you're a swing trader, when in doubt, go with the closer one, all right? So let's just say December. That's the closest non-weekly expiration date. So I'm going to choose December 2015. And now we have to choose one more thing. So this is in stark contrast to buying stock. When you buy stock, you just put in how many shares you want, and that's it. But when you buy a stock option, you have buy to open, buy to close. Sell to open, close, sell to close. You got the type, you got the expiration date, you got the strike price. It's a lot more confusing. So that's why I made this video. All right, so the strike price is the price at which the stock option will have implicit value. It will have true value, not time value. The time value, okay, so every option has time value that comes from the expiration and implicit value that comes from the strike price. Now, Apple is currently trading at almost $119. The lower the strike price for the call option, the more valuable the stock option. So if we went down to the lowest price, 55 bucks, this is going to be super valuable because it's going to act just like stock. In other words, if Apple goes up to 119 from 118, what happened is we mimicked getting $100 from that trade. So you're going to see the 55 is going to be really expensive. You see how it says 63? You've got to multiply these by 100. That's your real cost. So each of these options costs $6,000 something dollars. That's when the strike price is 55. Now let's contrast that with a strike price that's above Apple's current price. Let's go up and look at like 125. Look how cheap that is. That's $57. Remember, multiply by 100 to get the real value. That's 57 bucks. So it's only going to cost you 57 bucks to mimic 100 shares of Apple. The only problem with this is if you choose a higher strike price for your call option, when Apple goes up $1, you're not making $100. Instead, you're making maybe $20, okay? So the lower the strike price, the more money you're making when Apple goes up. The higher the strike price, the less money you're making when Apple goes up, but you're buying it for much cheaper, as you can see. I say when in doubt, go with something a bit lower than the current strike price. So we just said when in doubt for the expiration date, go with the closest one, because I'm assuming you're to do swing trading. When in doubt for the strike price, go with the one that's lower, a bit lower than Apple. And I'm going to say 115 is pretty good. Okay, so you can see that right now Apple's trading at about 119, and we're going to go about $5 below that. Now this is going to cost us a little over $500. But compare that with buying 100 shares of Apple. If you bought 100 shares of Apple, it would cost you over $10,000. We are mimicking holding 100 shares of Apple for only $500. That's a steal. And the entire idea with stock options is we're sacrificing the ability to hold on to it forever because we're using these expiration dates um, to gain, to mimic the gains that a really rich guy would get if he bought a lot of Apple stock. All right, so let me repeat the when in doubt phrases. First, if you're swing trading, when in doubt, go with the closer non-weekly stock option. Boom, 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 right here. All right, when in doubt, go with the strike price that's lower, a little bit lower than what we got. And I'm going to say 115 is good, 116 is good, 117 is good, 118 is still good. You know, as long as you're close, you're pretty good. But you should be a bit lower. So I would say this is probably our best bet for Apple. All right? And the reason we're going a bit lower is because when Apple goes up, the price of the stock option we buy will go up more quickly the lower we are. It's a linear relationship. Is it linear? I'm not sure. It's linear exponential. But the point is, the lower we are with our strike price, the more money we get when Apple goes up. Of course, you can go higher. You can go really high and get a really cheap option. You can go all the way up and get like a $5 option. This is $2 right here. But it's very slow to gain. All right? So when in doubt, go a little lower. Okay, so now that we've got the order type buy open, the number of contracts, remember one mimics 100 shares of stock. We're going to buy a call. We're going to buy the expiration date that's closest and non-weekly, and a strike price that's a bit lower than the real price of the stock. Now we're going to select, just like we do when we buy a stock or when we short a stock, we're going to select limit, and we're going to calculate the price between the ask and the bid. Bid is what people want to buy Apple for, this stock option for, sorry. And ask is what people want to sell this stock option for. Now, we as buyers would really like to get the lower of these two, but that's going to be impossible. So what we're going to do is we're going to calculate the midpoint. Now, for Apple, it's pretty easy because the ask and bid are pretty close. But I'm just going to show you the math real quickly. All you have to do is take the ask, which is 5.25 plus the bid, which is 5.10, and we're going to divide that sum. The keyboard is screwy here. We're going to divide that sum by 2. That gives us the average. All right. Now we're going to round up to the next. Generally, you're going to round up to the next 5. All right. So in this case, I'm going to round up to 5.2. Okay, the next 5 being a number that ends with a 0 or a 5. So that's 5.2, 5.20, whatever. It doesn't matter. And what that is going to do is it's going to give us it's going to give Etrade an order to buy this call option at this price. And I think actually for a really tight spread like this, you probably can do 5.1. Why don't we try 5.18 and see if it lets us go through with it. Okay, so if it says it's invalid, that means you've got to enter like a real ending with 5 or ending with 0 number. Okay, so try it again, preview order. All right, and it says it's okay. All right, so it'll calculate the costs and the commissions, and then you click place order, and that's it. You're done. You just bought a call option.